Imagine waking up every night sweating with a rapid heart rate, being confused, not knowing what's going on. This happens to veterans all the time that suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. These are common Americans that experience things that no one should ever have to experience. My focus is going to be on what is post-traumatic stress disorder and how it affects veterans. I believe that all Americans should be aware of post-traumatic stress disorder and what it does to veterans, so that way when they come home from overseas, we can better help them. The sources I used were the internet, Time magazine, and I interviewed a United States Marine who was deployed to Afghanistan twice in 4 years. Post-traumatic stress disorder is also known as PTSD. PTSD is an anxiety disorder that can occur after someone experiences a traumatic event that causes intense fear, helplessness, or even horror. This can result from personally experiencing traumas or even witnessing a violent or tragic event. These include rape, war, natural disasters, abuse, and serious accidents. You may ask yourself, why do some veterans come home with post-traumatic stress disorder and others do not? This has to do with several risk factors, including living through an event or trauma, a family history of mental illness, being severely hurt, or witnessing someone else being severely hurt or even killed. This comes with feelings of horror, helplessness, or even extreme fear. When a soldier comes back from war and they have no support to help them get over these events, that's another huge cause of post-traumatic stress disorder. Some symptoms of PTSD are reliving the events that occurred while they were in combat, including flashbacks, hallucinations, and vivid feelings of the event happening over and over again. The veterans often come home and they're antisocial. They try to avoid any reminders that bring back any of those feelings. They often become depressed, and everywhere they go, they are looking for danger and watching out to make sure themselves and everyone else is okay. Many veterans also suffer from night terrors. This is not to be confused with nightmares. Nightmares are where you and I have every now and then. A night terror is where a veteran wakes up screaming, sweating, there's confusion, they have a rapid heart rate, and they're unable to explain what has just happened. Some may not even have a memory of these night terrors when they wake up in the morning. The night terrors can last anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. This can happen every single night once they come back from overseas. Some of the statistics of PTSD. According to the San Francisco Chronicle, Marines and Army are 4 times more likely to have post-traumatic stress disorder than those in the Navy or the Air Force, because the Marines and the Army face greater exposure to combat than the Navy and the Air Force. In 2009, 160 active duty soldiers were reported to have committed suicide when they came home from war. In 2003, this number was only 77. The rate of suicide in veterans is 3 times more likely than a general American who's never been in combat. About 300,000 veterans come home each year from Iraq and Afghanistan, and they suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder or major depression. Every year when soldiers come home, this number continues to become greater. As far as treatment goes, there's really no direct cure for post-traumatic stress disorder. However, if you can identify that you have PTSD early, it can lessen the severity and can improve the overall quality of the rest of the veteran's life. You can also go to trauma-focused cognitive therapy and family therapy, and medications can help with the depression and the anxiety that comes along with post-traumatic stress disorder. Trauma-focused cognitive therapy carefully exposes the veteran to the thoughts and feelings that remind them of the trauma to eventually lessen the reaction when they have these feelings again. And family therapy is good for the veteran and the family because post-traumatic stress disorder does not only affect the veteran, but everyone that is around the veteran constantly is greatly affected. There are also ways that veterans can self-help themselves. They can reach out to others who are also suffering. Sometimes it's a lot easier to talk to someone that knows what you're going through versus someone who's never been in combat and doesn't know what's going on. They should avoid alcohol and drugs because this makes all the symptoms worse. And they can overcome feelings of helplessness by helping others. Many times in combat, the feeling of power is lost, so in order to regain that, they should help people. Now that you know what post-traumatic stress disorder is and how it affects veterans, I hope that you have a better understanding of what soldiers every day are living with. And in honor of Thanksgiving, remember the troops that are currently overseas fighting for our country. Next time you see a soldier, please remember to say thank you.